On patrol, he was caught between desire and duty ****. The twin moons of Vescara hung low on the horizon, washing the barren plains in ghost silver light. Corporal Elias Ward adjusted the strap of his pulse rifle as the cold night wind swept across the ridge. Another patrol. Another 8 hours of dust, silence, and listening for the distant clicking of Carrick's raiders. He told himself he was used to it. But tonight wasn't normal. Because tonight, she was walking beside him. Lyriss. A Vescari scout. Smaller than most of her kind, barely reaching his shoulder, but lithe, strong, eyes gleaming like molten copper behind the veil of her breathing mask. Her species resembled something between human and feline, smooth skin traced with faint luminous stripes, sharp nails, expressive tail swaying with every step. She had saved his life 2 weeks ago, dragging him bleeding out of a Carrick's ambush. And ever since that night, something had been changing, quietly, inevitably, between them. Elias tried to focus, scanning the dunes through his visor. "West sector is clear," he muttered. Lyriss made a soft sound, half affirmation, half laugh. "You humans speak like machines when you're nervous." He stiffened. "Not nervous. Liar." She walked ahead of him, stepping lightly across the shale. Elias followed despite himself. The night air carried the faint scent of her skin, like warm ozone, almost floral. He tried to ignore the way his heart sped up. They reached the broken remains of an old comms tower, its metal skeleton rising like a rusted claw against the sky. Their designated checkpoint. He crouched, scanning for thermal signatures. Lyriss stood beside him, closer than necessary. Too close. "What?" he said, keeping his eyes forward. "You breathe differently when I'm near you." Her voice dropped to a whisper. He swallowed. Professional distance, Lyriss. And yet, she leaned closer, her breath warm against his ear. "You let me choose this patrol with you." He didn't answer. Because she was right. He could have picked anyone else in the squad, but he picked her. The whisper. Vescari didn't flirt. Not the way humans did. They communicated attraction through subtle gestures, tail movements, shifts in posture, changes in their glowing stripes. Elias pretended he didn't notice. Tonight, she didn't pretend. "You know why I asked to patrol with you," she said softly. He kept scanning the ridges. "Focus on the mission." "I am focused." Her glowing eyes studied him. "On you." "Lyriss," he exhaled. "You know we can't. Humans and Vescari, we're allies, not. You rescued my sister from the raiders. You fought beside my clan for months. You treat us as equals. That means something to my people." Her voice softened to something painfully earnest. "It means something to me." He turned to face her, and instantly regretted it. Because she was inches away, eyes bright, cheeks flushed with the faint shimmer that meant deep emotional openness among her kind. Then she whispered words that froze him. "We'd make beautiful children, human." He felt the world tilt. Her tone wasn't teasing. It wasn't playful. It was a confession. And he had no idea how to respond. "Lyriss. You shouldn't say things like that." "Why not?" She stepped closer. "Do you deny you feel drawn to me?" He tried to speak, but the distant clicking of rocks snapped his instincts awake. A sound no wind should make. "Carrick's. Down." Elias hissed. They dove behind a boulder as 3 spindly silhouettes crawled across the ridge, massive insectoid bodies, mandibles clacking, searching. Elias steadied his rifle. "We're outnumbered." Lyriss drew her twin blades, eyes sharp. "Then we fight. Together." Their argument ended instantly. Duty took over. But her whisper echoed in his mind long after the battle began. caught between desire and duty. The first Carex charged, spitting acidic bile that sizzled against the rock. Elias fired a burst, blowing through its chitin. Lyriss slipped under its falling body, slashing the tendons of the second creature's legs. They moved like they had trained together for years. He shot. She sliced. He covered her. She saved him. One Carex leaped from above, its serrated forelimbs aimed at Elias's throat. He didn't have time to dodge. Lyriss crashed into him, pushing him out of the way. Acid burned across her shoulder as she fell. Lyriss, he shouted, firing point blank into the creature's skull. The battlefield quieted. The final raider fled into the darkness. Elias dropped beside her, grabbing her shoulders. "Let me see the wound." She hissed in pain but allowed it. The burn was deep, her outer layer of skin had begun to blister. "It's nothing," she breathed, voice trembling. "Nothing? You jumped in front of acid for me." Her tail curled weakly around his wrist. "Of course. You are my chosen." "Chosen?" He blinked. "Lyriss, did you just?" She nodded. "In my culture, saving someone's life twice binds our spirits. You've saved mine. I've saved yours. The bond is sealed. That's not how it works for humans." She smiled weakly. "Then let your people keep their rules. I know my heart." He stared at her, throat tight. She had risked everything. For him. He wrapped his arm around her and lifted her gently. "We're going back to base." But she grabbed his wrist. "No. The raiders, they were scouts. More will come. We must warn your commander. I'm not leaving you bleeding in the middle of a ridge." She touched his chest, right over his heart. "Elias. Listen. Duty comes first. Your people. My people. The Alliance." Her breath trembled. "Please, don't let my feelings cloud your purpose." He froze. Because that's exactly what was happening to him. He wanted to take her back. Protect her. Hold her. Tell her she wasn't alone. But she was right. Duty first. Emotions later, if they even had a future. He swallowed hard. "Stay behind me. We'll move fast." She nodded and rose shakily. The march back. They half ran, half stumbled through the dunes. Lyriss' breathing grew heavy, each step slower. Elias supported her weight, his arm locked around her waist. "You're losing too much fluid," he said. "Your species doesn't handle acid like we do." "You talk too much," she rasped with a faint smile. He almost laughed. Almost. The base lights finally came into view, a cluster of domes glowing pale blue in the distance. "We made it," he whispered. But Lyriss suddenly stopped. Her eyes widened. Her stripes flashed violently. "Elias, behind." He spun. A massive Carex war drone rose from the sand, uncloaking, 8 legs, armored shell, turreted acid cannons humming. Too close to shoot. Too big to outrun. A death sentence. Elias pushed Lyriss behind him. "Run." "No." The drone charged its cannon, aiming directly at him. Instinct screamed. His mind flashed with regret. He would never hear her whisper again. Never see her smile. Never know what could have been. The drone fired. Lyriss lunged in front of him. Elias screamed. But the explosion never came. A shockwave hit them as a sniper round blasted through the drone's core. It toppled, hissing, smoking. Captain Reyes stood atop the ridge with a rail rifle. "You two lovebirds done flirting?" the captain yelled. "Move." The infirmary. Hours later, the medbay lights hummed softly as Lyriss lay on a cot, the acid burn slowly healing under a gel pack. Elias sat beside her, elbows on his knees, head in his hands. She stirred. Elias. He looked up instantly. I'm here. Her eyes softened. I said something earlier that frightened you. He shook his head. It didn't frighten me. It confused you, then. He hesitated. Yeah, that. She reached for his hand. He let her take it. Your duty is to your people, she said gently. Mine is to mine. I know we cannot bind our lives together the way my heart wants. Not now. Not while there is war. A painful silence filled the room. And yet, she whispered, I wanted you to know the truth. He squeezed her hand. Lyriss. I care about you. More than I should. Her eyes glowed softly. Then the whisper was not unwanted. No, he admitted quietly. Not unwanted. A tear slipped down her cheek. He brushed it away with his thumb. The promise. Footsteps echoed, Captain Reyes approaching. Duty returning. Reality settling back into place. Lyriss exhaled. When the war ends, when your people and mine finally share peace, then perhaps. Perhaps what? Elias asked, leaning close. She smiled for real this time, radiant, hopeful. Perhaps we truly will make beautiful children, human. He laughed softly, forehead resting against hers. I'll hold you to that, he whispered. The door slid open. Duty called. But for one fragile moment, between war and peace, between desire and responsibility, they allowed themselves to imagine a future. Together.